I almost want to tell you that when I'm in a tournament situation and I practice, but I know a lot of rain's coming in, I'll almost prepare myself for this scenario, because when you have a summertime mud that comes in, a lot of times, and I know this sounds crazy, it can actually get better. The reason it gets better is because they get so much more predictable where they're going to be when you have these scenarios. So let's say I'm fishing a lake. It's summertime, it's warm out. I mean, it's just chocolate milk pouring into the lake. And whether A, it's like offshore structure, a lot of contour in the lake, or B, let's say you have a lake that has a lot of brush piles, a lot of laydowns. I know that in the summertime, them fish are going to relate to that cover, relate to that structure, and they're basically going to give themselves away. It's that simple. So, and the other side of it is too, let's say we're in the summertime and I'm on a place that has current. In the summertime with the mud, the current is actually your friend, believe it or not, because what the current's going to do, when you have them fish that are, let's say you're in a creek or a river system and you have them fish in the current, that current's actually going to push them fish not only right to whatever cover's in there, but if there's like a log jam or something else that is a big void that's making a big current block, and it could even be a dip or a deeper dive in a spot, that's going to conjugate them fish big time to a certain small area. I can't tell you how many times in tournaments where I'd face these scenarios and I'd find something like that, or if I was preparing for a tournament, I would mark this stuff on my graph every time and label it like mud spot, because I know that's where these fish are going to go a lot of times. So that's the kind of stuff that I look for. The other side of it is too, when to stay, when to leave. It's a really good question, because when to leave is basically, a lot of times you can jump around in these muddy scenarios, and let's say you have 5 spots marked. I almost want to say 2 out of the 2, maybe 1 or 2 out of them 5 aren't going to be good, but the majority of the other ones are going to be good. So I think it's a very high percentage scenario that you run into. That's why I think fishing muddy scenarios is a really good thing, because, like I said, it makes the prediction where these fish should be and are going to be. It just raises your percentages up to like 90%, which is super high in bass fishing. There's been tournaments where, I'm fishing black blue, I'm getting a few bites, and then I go to like a sapphire trailer, just that small little itty bitty change, and just crush the tournament and win it. There's a lot of talk out there, do largemouth and smallmouth sea color. Without a doubt they do. That's my opinion, because of them subtle changes I've made over the years just to get more bites. So that definitely makes a difference. Now, one really good tip that I'm going to give you guys that you can look for, and this is, so let me back up a hair. So there's kind of a myth out there, and I don't want to say it's a myth because it works, but the reason it works is not because of what they say. The myth that I'm trying to tell you is, everybody always says, go try to find cleaner water. And that's true. If you find cleaner water, the fish that you're going to be finding, they didn't just all of a sudden show up on that spot because there's a muddy water that just got on the lake. They are already there. They're just easier to catch because they're still, basically where you left them at. So finding cleaner water can help you in that scenario where you're just catching fish that aren't basically, messed up yet, or had to change where they were because of the mud. So, but when the mud's coming down, if the mud's coming down, what does that mean? It means one thing. When the mud's all done coming down from wherever it came from, that's actually where your first cleanest water is going to be coming from again. So if you have a creek that's pushing all that mud down and your whole entire lake is getting nothing but mudded out now, let's say it's been 4, 5, 6, 7 days, now it's going to do reverse. That area where all that mud came from is where your cleanest water is going to start coming from eventually too.
And the information Bass University provides isn't your basic run-of-the-mill fishing video. This is specific information from A to Z to help you learn, get to the water, and become a better angler quickly.